don't know how to keep you. Don't know how to keep you. Don't know how to keep you. How to keep you.
Hello and welcome to Harcourts Astute HQ, and today we're lucky enough to have Morgan Joy, the Leasing and Business Development Manager here at our office. And look, today I thought it'd be important to discuss a few things that's happened the last few months, and of course we all know the whole COVID scenario and what that shaped and what it looked like in our I guess our rental department and how that affected everyone. And look, I'm going to ask Morgan a few questions, and hopefully he can give everyone some insight into what we saw and what we went through, and of course hopefully what we come out the other end. So first of all, thanks Morgan for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Definitely been an interesting few months, but I think a lot of positives have come out of what we've experienced. So
Fantastic.
pushing forward.
So now we know, I think it was around March or late February when the whole COVID sort of restrictions came in that affected our industry a bit. Look, obviously Jan Feb is the peak season, and I'm sure we had some great results there. But I guess I want to delve down more into the that chunk of February to May and what that looked like and how it shaped everyone up. So could you run through the February, March, April, May statistics, and just so we can get a guideline of what it looked like?
Yeah, okay. So I suppose the biggest thing to point out is obviously the difference between what was happening. February, we had more properties because it was a peak season. So you will see that some of these numbers are correlating towards how many we actually had on the market as well. So do keep that in mind. But February, we did have a pretty cruisy time. It was as per normal. We didn't have any open home restrictions or anything like that. So it was quite good at the time. 11 out of 11.
Oh, wow.
So we did quite well, and it was 95,000 total views as well, just on realestate.com alone.
Wow.
So yeah, quite good numbers for that amount of properties as well.
And that was for February, correct?
That's February alone,
okay.
which is awesome.
And then what did March and April look like? I believe that's when it sort of kicked in, didn't it?
So this is our interesting part. Between February and March, as an overall aspect, we had about 30,000 views decrease, so less than our February month. But keeping in mind, we did only have 7 properties in comparison to 11. So balancing it out, there is definitely a decrease, but I wouldn't say it's a huge decrease. Look, we did have to implement different things as well, as you know.
Such as, can you tell everyone what you implemented to, I guess, make the most of the situation?
Cool. So because we did eventually have open homes banned towards the later end of the March month. We were lucky enough to be able to have the paperless, position and system for us. So we were online about 2 weeks earlier than the lockdown, which gave us the opportunity to do virtual inspections, pre-qualified tenants, do private views for those qualified tenants, and have people still lease a property and move in. At the end of the day, people still needed to move. It didn't stop. On that regard, we just had a bit more of a decrease.
And how about April? What did that shape up as?
So April, we started to have restrictions lessen towards the later end of that month.
Did, yes.
But
some more clarity.
But during that first probably half of the month, you're probably looking at the same sort of figures as March. 8 properties during that month, 8 leased during that month. Gotcha. But once we got to that later end of the month and we were allowed to have open homes again, bang. 108,000 views just on realestate.com alone, which really went to show that February was busy. Now that people were stuck in a little bit of a different situation, they could come out. So
do you think it was more like a bottleneck effect? Like everyone wanted to do it, but it sort of held off and it sort of narrowed the inquiry line. And when once obviously everything came out to normal, it just sort of came back to those huge numbers. Because April, those sort of numbers are. 108,000 is not
better
common.
Than February.
Yeah, and it's not common. I mean, traditionally, I'm sure, as you're aware, Jan Feb market here in Brisbane is probably one of the most peak periods. I guess
that's right.
That's when the most transactions happen with properties and people moving for schools and work, and to see 108,000 in April, it's definitely not what we're used to.
That's
sure.
right.
But great news. So now that April was gone, what did May look like? Because May was really a sort of a different month to the first. I guess March and April.
So I mean, look, for us, we were quite lucky because during our virtual inspections, and then obviously once we transitioned into open homes again, we got majority of our product leased. So during the May time, usually that's a little bit of a slower period for us as per normal. We only had 3 properties come on the market during that month and 3 leased.
Wow.
Obviously, we had the open homes positions available, so we got those done quite quickly. In fact, one of those properties was done in the first open home as well. So,
Wow.
yeah, but that month, 106,000 views for 3 properties.
Again, May, guys. May is not traditionally a busy month, but I think the whole bottleneck approach, everyone was sort of sitting back and relaxing and seeing where this is going, and the clarity came out, and everyone went back to renting property. So, look, guys, as Morgan's saying, we had a bit of a slow patch and things, but the rental market right now, as we see, is going really well, going strong. People are moving, look, if you do need some assistance in your property management needs, look, Morgan's the man. I think month on month, he's been performing and doing extremely well for his clients. I guess, Morgan, give us one thing that you maybe have, well, 2 things even that you may have learnt, or what you recommend for investors to know with their properties, and maybe what to add on their marketing campaign, or I guess how to approach properties.
Yeah, look, the biggest thing that we saw, obviously, because we were so limited with the open homes, to action those virtual inspections, 3D floor plans, things like that, it was huge. You could have pre-qualified tenants. It really did set up your investment for the right tenant. You didn't have a lot of time wasters. So I would recommend for any investors out there, if you are looking at coming onto the market, it's a good plan on doing some virtual inspections, some 3D floor plans, things like that, to really speak to your market and get those really good qualified tenants.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Okay. So thanks again, Morgan, for your time, and I hope that gave some insight into how the rental market went. And until the next video, see you later.
All right.
How to get you, don't know how to get you, how to get you.